Hi everyone, I'm Wendy, and today I'm showing you how to make my go-to vegan cheesy sauce. And I'll tell you right now, no, it doesn't taste exactly like real cheese. But this recipe is intended for other people like me who, whether for health or ethical reasons, choose not to eat real dairy. But we still want to enjoy some of our favorite meals that traditionally use cheese. This recipe is oil-free, low in sodium, and made with whole plant food ingredients. So let me show you how I make it, and stick around till the end of the video to see some of the many ways I like to use this sauce. I'm using a high-speed blender because this will create the smoothest, most velvety texture. But if you don't have that, a food processor will work. To that, I'm adding 1 can of low-sodium Great Northern beans that I've drained and rinsed. Next is about 1 cup of cooked sweet potato. You can also make this sauce using russet potatoes, Yukon Gold potatoes, or other types of sweet potatoes. Each one will give you a slightly different flavor, but I love changing it up, so use whatever kinds of cooked potato you have on hand. Then I've got my spice blend, which includes a teaspoon of granulated garlic, a teaspoon of granulated onion, a half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric to give it that bright yellow color, and just about 1/8 of a teaspoon of black pepper, or add it to taste. Next, for that cheesy sort of flavor, I have nutritional yeast. Now, my recipe calls for a 1/4 cup to a half a cup, depending on how much you love nooch. But I personally only put about 3 tablespoons, and sometimes I leave it out completely, so it's totally up to your personal preference. Then my recipe is salt-free, but you can feel free to add some salt to taste. Instead of salt, I add a teaspoon of a substitute. My favorites to use are Stardust by Well Your World and Salacious, which was originally from Local Spicery, but will also soon be available from Well Your World. Next, I have a tablespoon of mustard. I recommend either stone ground or Dijon. Then a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. If you want your sauce to be extra rich and creamy, you could add a handful of raw cashews. Sometimes I add this and sometimes I don't. It's totally optional. But when using the cashews, I like to soak them first to ensure they blend well, especially if you don't have a high-speed blender. Finally, we just need to add a little bit of water to get it to blend. I usually add about a cup, but the amount of water you add will depend on exactly how you want to use your sauce. With 1 cup of water, the sauce will be pretty thick. If you want to use it as a drizzle over top of something, you can add a little extra water to thin it out. After it's blended, your cheesy sauce is ready to use. I like to double this recipe and freeze it in small portions to keep on hand. It freezes really well. As you defrost it, it may separate some, but once you heat it up and stir it well, it should return to its original consistency. I use this sauce in so many different ways. Of course, an obvious choice is to make macaroni and cheese. Simply cook up any kind of pasta you like and mix as much sauce as you want with it. I also often use it as a topping for various kinds of casseroles, such as my pizza casserole. I'll include a link here for that recipe video. It's great as a drizzle on top of pizza. This is my breakfast pizza. I have a really old video where I showed this one, and I'll include that here as well. I love to use this sauce on top of tacos or poured over a nacho bowl. I drizzle it on all kinds of different meals, and it makes a great dip for potatoes or broccoli. Speaking of dip, you can also add a can of Rotel to the cheesy sauce to make a delicious Rotel dip. I use this sauce inside of a vegan omelet or on top of a vegan quiche. And last but not least, one of my favorite ways to use it is to make a whole food plant-based grilled cheese sandwich. I use this sauce all the time, and I'm sure you can think of more ways to use it as well. Feel free to drop your ideas in the comments below, and you can check out this playlist for all the videos where I've used some version of this sauce before. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.